smash that like button, give us a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe. FarmBoys Podcast with Logan and Chris. Take 6. Just me and you this time.
Okay.
Just me and you.
Right.
No fancy schmancy guest. Just a couple of buffoons with opinions. And I think we need to go on location over to India and do a podcast, which would be fun.
Maybe if there's any viewers that are watching us, if we could do some type of like collab, come over.
Couldn't promote Dr. Q because his medical reasoning was not acceptable.
I think there's a quote from Warren Buffett that the time to invest is when everybody else is scared.
I don't think anybody's doing really well right now, to be honest with you.
Why would a company like Tractor Supply, why would a company like John Deere, why would a company like Harley Davidson even be close to any of this stuff?
What's funny is these people that over-exaggerate this stuff are okay with a guy going into a girl's bathroom or a dude playing sports with a girl, but they're not okay with that. Think of how many people profit when the stock market crashes.
We need a shot in the arm. We need to,
you never know. Could be it.
I mean, if a woman wanted to play tackle football.
He stated facts. He didn't just come up with a claim, not have something to back it up. And the crazy thing that we're doing is we're actually expanding at this time, which is on purpose, obviously, because everybody else is contracting.
I'm hoping that it creates some stability for us and that there's more confidence.
And you can't tell me holistic medicine is not rising like ever before. Out of all the shows we've done, going back to Bob Menery, who's been, and this isn't loaded, I just sincere, who's been your favorite person we've talked to?
We've had, let's go back just for a minute and refresh. Yep. We had Bob
Menery, Instagram star, influential, whatever. He does most of his stuff on Snapchat, I believe, but he's part of Full Send. Now, a certain orange individual here was censored off. You fired, if that means anything to you. We had Rob Moore, colorblind, famous painter with 70-some thousand Instagram followers and paintings that sell for tens of thousands of dollars. We have Corey, doctor of physical therapy, that taught us quite a bit there. Jenna, our registered dietitian / nutritionist. Talked a lot about nutrition there. That was fun. Kennedy. Shoot, I forgot about our great lawyer, Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget about him because we started getting religious after the podcast. And I believe I formally challenged him to a debate on, I don't know, what do we call it? LDS versus non-LDS? LDS versus non-denominational? Whatever you want to call it. We have not had it yet, but yeah, you were instigating and really kind of driving it in there like you do.
I was?
Oh, yeah. You're good at mixing stirring the pot. You know that. You like to push people's button and see reaction. You know that. Yeah, no, I forgot. That one was actually pretty fun. I like that one.
We had a great conversation with Kennedy, and that one was that
was good.
Like, his expertise and everything was great.
And then Dr. Kutab, from Boston, Massachusetts, telling us about holistic medicine. And let me put an asterisk on that. YouTube would not let us promote. They censored us out of that. Couldn't promote Dr. Q because his medical reasoning was not acceptable. That is one thing I wanted to make sure to put on this podcast was that they censored us for no freaking reason. You can't tell me holistic medicine is not rising like ever before. Back to the question though. Who is your favorite, Logan?
Well, as you know, I've enjoyed all of our conversations.
Yeah, sure.
Part of it is for me, like I'm learning as we're having these conversations. So it's fun to learn these the different guests' experiences and their backgrounds, what they've been educated in or what they're focused on today. Dr. Q, I've known Dr. Q for 10 plus years, and he's a real fun guy to be around. He's fun to talk to. He's got great stories. I think he's a great storyteller. He's very entertaining, and also just a fun personality. So, that conversation, is too bad that we weren't able to share more of that, just because
Right. Yeah.
I think I'd love to. So, I mean, we should do another one with Dr. Q, and just
Oh, for sure.
make sure we
100%.
do it in a way where,
They can't keep us off. Right.
yeah,
But the
we don't
thing
get
is,
censored.
here's what bugged me. He stated facts. He didn't just come up with a claim, not have something to back it up. He always had evidence for what he was saying. Now, you can't tell me, and I complained to YouTube, Google, whoever it is, and I said, this is BS. Like, this is a doctor who was an MD, and he had, I mean, the whole thing about high cholesterol, that kind of stuff, how the oldest people in the world have high cholesterol. I mean, it was absurd. I really want to have him back, though, because we can make it to where, yes, we don't get it, not able to.
If we would have said, like, if he would have referenced something, like said, hey, this is where this reference comes from.
I still don't know, though, Logan, honestly, because they what do they call it? Misleading? I forget the verbiage now. I have to go back to my emails. There's a lot of them. But the one was, we named a certain pharmaceutical. So you can't do that. Can't name any type of pharmaceuticals. God forbid that. We could say, though, it was a statin. But they blocked me for that in the beginning. And then the rest of it was, oh, he's misleading. Like, it just bugs me. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you believe him or don't believe him. We had him on to get a different perspective, a different view. I'm not going to freaking do everything that he says. It bugs me.
If we would have talked about, like, something non-pharmaceutical, like, let's just talk about, you're wearing a Nike hat. Like, if we sit here and talk about how, talk about Nike, we love Nike, would they say you can't talk about Nike?
I don't know, because it was medical claims. So he was making a claim about just the different things we talked about. Like,
I will say this, if Phil Knight is listening to us, to our podcast, one of the big things for me growing up was getting a new pair of basketball shoes. I pretty much always wore Nike.
My mom and dad, not farming in the off season, actually worked at a shoe store in Burley, Idaho. And so we would get a discount off of shoes. Otherwise, I never would have had the shoes I had.
I remember how old I was when I got my first pair of Jordans. You remember the one that had the straps that came over the middle? I can't remember which one it was.
I want to do our podcast on location. I want to go to Dubai. You spoke of the Middle East before. I want to go to Dubai. It has the only 7-star hotel in the world. You don't have to worry about anything over there. It's safe. It's fantastic. Or I want to go to India. I would love to go to India. India is fascinating. We have viewers, obviously, from India, which is great. And I think we need to go on location over to India and do a podcast, which would be fun, expensive as all hell, but extremely fun. And you never know, you could probably get some Jordans over there as well.
Hey, well, maybe if there's any viewers that are watching us, if we could do some type of, like, maybe collab, or, come over and I don't know, maybe it's a cross promotional type thing. Maybe we
That'd
could
be fun.
Somebody over there.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be cool. So we got off. So you going back to Dr. Q as your favorite because of you can tell he's genuinely a really nice guy. You can tell that.
I mean, I really like talking to him, but I've known him for a long time, and we're friends and everything. So, that could be part of it.
Yeah. I will say each of our guests may have said, like, just a little bit like, oh, I'm nervous. But boy, I think each one, like, slammed it, hit grand slams, home runs, I mean, from Menery, who is used to public speaking. Corey, I know he does quite a bit of public speaking, not just in his facility or his, PT clinic, but I know he's done, like, trainings and spoken to collegiate athletes and things like that. Jenna does that a lot. Kennedy, that is his world, is public speaking in front of judges and clients as a lawyer. And then, Dr. Q, he was just kind of made for the camera, made for media. I don't know, that guy could be on Dr. Phil, or honestly, he could make Rogan. This part of the podcast has been censored, so I had to take off all the volume and words we spoke about a certain event that's happening in the United States that has implications for the country for many years to come, but they censored it. And if that happens again, I will be taking legal action. I didn't think so at the time, but then after seeing the media, yeah, it did. I think it's over exaggerated. What's funny is these people that over-exaggerate this stuff are okay with a guy going into a girl's bathroom or a dude playing sports with a girl, but they're not okay with that. Logan, you have a daughter. Am I correct there?
Yeah.
You have two, I believe, correct?
Yep.
Okay, this is my Kennedy. And how old would they be?
15 and 9.
Okay. Have you seen if your daughter was good enough to play varsity, would you allow her?
Yeah.
With seniors?
Yeah.
Okay. And what if she had to play against a senior boy? How would that make you feel? If she was across the volleyball net, she's guarding a guy, he was guarding her in basketball, playing soccer against each other. How would you feel about an 18-year-old boy doing that?
I would want to play against that boy.
What if you couldn't? What if they said, no, this is okay with us. We're going to allow this 18-year-old boy to bang around down low in the post in basketball against your daughter?
Yeah, I'd try to. I wouldn't support it.
Have you heard about the universities and colleges out of the Mountain West that are boycotting San Jose State for having a biological male volleyball player?
I haven't.
Boise State, Nevada, Utah State, they've all said, we forfeit, give us a loss. We're not going to play a dude.
How long's the dude been on the team?
I don't know. I don't know. They're 11-3 though, which is a pretty darn good record.
What about the bigger have they played?
Well, they beat some West Coast Conference teams. I believe they beat Santa Clara, St. Mary's, Fresno State, not West Coast Conference, University of San Francisco. They've done well. They've lost obviously 3, but there's some videos on this kid hitting the ball against some of these girls and just knocking them on their tails.
On the volleyball player?
Yeah, San Jose State. It's a guy. I'm just asking if you would allow your daughter to play against a male, not when they're 3 or 4 years old or whatever it is,
So
but when there's a real physical, after puberty.
What's the
I don't want to say the name because I don't want to get us banned or restricted. It doesn't take much. If you Google male player San Jose State volleyball, he's right there. But it's not just San Jose State volleyball. The NCAA is allowing it. What happens when San Jose State makes it to the tournament? Maybe they don't. But what happens when one of these schools, which has a male player, what? I don't know if they had a sex change, but they had the anatomy of a male, I believe.
Because this person.
Yeah, you're looking at the pictures, aren't you? He
isn't like I thought it would be more overwhelmingly looking like a male. Like,
I'm betting he's taken estrogen, honestly, maybe. But if you watch him hit from the back row and see how high he gets, and then watch some of his hits against some of these kids, yeah. I mean, it's no different than swimming, the male swimmer. What happens when there's a male who can't make the college basketball team and says, you know what, I'm going to be a girl? You ever see that movie Juwanna Mann?
No.
Really? It's a basketball movie where a guy dresses as a girl and everybody thought it was so far-fetched and crazy, yet somehow he makes the team and he's rolling with the women. But we're not far away from that because the NCAA is allowing this. So what happens when they allow a male to play against a female in college basketball? And maybe he was good enough to make the men's team.
Okay.
This is probably going to be beautiful. I'm watching later. Gosh, you forget where you were?
No, you just made me want to look this person up.
Yeah, well, you can definitely see it, but it's the point of the matter. Like, the right thing to do is we have Title IX for a reason, and that's because Title IX was created to make women's sports equitable like men's, and now for men to come over into women's sports, come on.
Yeah,
What do you think your church's stance is on it? I can tell you what I think, but I'm not a member. You tell me.
About a
males playing in female sports. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just as if it's up to me as a parent, hey, this is a female sport, can a biological male play in that sport? I would say, well, no, that's why it's it's female sports, right? So there's a separation there. There's a difference there. Now, if we're saying like, hey, this is co-ed, this is a co-ed sport or what?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
be,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Like, then that's different. But if everybody, it's probably you need everybody playing by the same rules. And just because someone says, well, I identify as a male or I identify with a female, that I don't think that necessarily makes it right. Now,
would you want an 18-year-old boy being alone with your 15-year-old daughter in a girl's locker room? Answer that. Real simple.
Oh, no.
No, there you go. It's pretty simple. I think people complicate this too much because they're trying to be politically correct. Should males play with females in female sports? No. It's real simple. I
mean, like if you're I think a parent that is supporting your kid in athletics, right? You want the best for your kid, and
well, hopefully you care about their teammates, excuse me, as well, and you care about the other people on the team. When you're a team, parents bond. The kids bond, the parents bond. I mean, not everybody's best friends, but there's camaraderie in a team, and you know what kind of things that team sports do for kids as they grow up, what it did for you to be able to learn and grow with the company. Now, granted, we work with males and females, but because I work with them doesn't mean I'm going to go play, tackle football with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different, that brings up a whole different topic too. I mean, if a woman wanted to play tackle football, I'd say, like, I don't have any issue with that other than player safety.
Well, let's put it into perspective here. For fun. I think you're thinking for fun. Maybe even high school, but let's be honest. And I'm not saying a female couldn't do this ever, because maybe there will be a female one day in the NFL. But 99.99999% of females would get absolutely annihilated in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the one position where I think that there would be maybe some potential, would be as a kicker.
Necessary roughness. Kathy Ireland kicked it home, baby. You bet.
It's different. NFL, college, even high school.
High school's getting really competitive now. I mean, kids aren't kids anymore, man. Some of these boys are grown freaking men. Variation
in like high school sizes and teams. Like I've seen it now where we live, right? Like. Yeah. There's some bigger high schools. There's just more kids, and these teams there's a bigger selection of athletes to choose from, and there's a lot of great athletes. I'm impressed. Right? If you took a smaller school, like in high school, and you took a super athletic girl, like let's say a girl that is like super fast, super athletic, which they're out there, and there's girls that are good enough that they can compete on different levels with boys, right? I'm not saying
I see where you're going with this, like a big time.
But when you take the best boys and the best girls, like there's just differences there. That's
right.
Just the way it is, right?
But you're thinking about like taking this really good girl, because I can see where you're going there, like this amazing girl, like one of my daughters. Both played college volleyball. Both were really good high school basketball players. Could I go put them on a court with some guys at a low level? Easy. And I don't know, call me sexist, but it's different when you put a guy playing with a bunch of girls.
No, it is.
It is. I mean, I didn't make this up. God
I'm curious, how dominant this player is in college volleyball that you're talking about. But
to be fair, I've only seen the clips of her like just smoking it, just from back row, hammering it home from the outside. She's an outside hitter. I believe he plays 6 rotations all the way around because he can probably hit from anywhere on the court. The video I saw of him attacking back row, I mean, he got up. From the angle that I saw it in, I'm like, okay, this guy might be touching 11. Like, who knows? I will say, though, not to crap on any girls, there are kids at Club V that are touching like 10-6. Ridiculous. Like, I don't even think that was heard of back in our day. Girls touching 10'6", and I'm sure there's girls out there that can touch 11 too. But again,
I mean, I knew a couple girls that are, touching like 10-1, maybe 10-2.
Touching the rim, grabbing the rim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister could grab the rim.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't know. It's there's more than just all these little pieces, though, for sure. If you could have 3 people that you would want to have on the podcast one at a time, not all 3 together, who would those 3 people be? Dream people on the podcast. Let's go with first alive and then dead, because there's a lot of dead people I'm sure people would love to talk to. But your first one is your first 3 alive.
First 3 alive?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, there'd be a lot of people in either sports or business, politics.
Right? It's hard.
Religion. I mean,
I'll give you one of mine. Mine, I would definitely want to talk to Elon. If we could get Elon on here, I just want to ask him so many things. Elon Musk. He's probably the smartest guy on earth that we know of. He's just an absolute genius. I think he's funny too. So just one. Give me one. We'll do this one at a time. Your president, Russell M. Nelson?
Russell M. Nelson would be great.
Would you? Would that be one of your dream 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have Elon Musk, owner of Tesla,
I think Joe
SpaceX.
Rogan would be fun.
What's that?
I think Joe Rogan would be fun.
Yeah. So Joe Rogan, of course. Me, I'd love to have Dana White. He's fascinating. He seems like he's a fun guy. He seems like he's a great leader. His sports slap is crushing all these other sports. And it's funny because he always says in the UFC, I'm not competing with these other fighting combat sports stuff. I'm competing with the NFL, the MLB, the NBA. That's who I'm competing against. That's how big the UFC is. And I think he's right. So I've got Elon and Dana. You said Russell M. Nelson, Rogan. We kind of both pick Rogan, although that would be my third. Who's another one for you?
We could both pick him.
Yeah, who's your other one?
Oh man, I need to do more research on it.
Okay, just give me a third. I'm not holding you to it. You can always change your mind. Who do you want to talk to? Who?
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Why not? The greatest ever? The greatest of all time? Why not? Give me 3 dead.
3 dead? I mean, for me,
we're both going to say Jesus, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
You can't not have God honestly, on your podcast. Actually, he's alive. Ooh, got you there. Now, Jesus is good. Okay.
Got me. Jesus. Some of the ancient prophets would be very, I think, from a religion standpoint. I mean, you could go into, some of these prophets in the Bible.
Which one? Would you want Judas on and say, Judas, why'd you do it?
No. Like Abraham.
Oh, Abraham.
Moses.
Okay.
The other one that I think would be super fascinating, just because I really love the story, is the story of Joseph. He gets sold into.
Oh, yeah.
He gets sold into Egypt, right?
Yeah.
Brothers
King of Egypt. Yeah.
Brothers sell him, and he rises up to be basically the right arm, the right-hand man for the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And then his brothers come during the time of famine to buy grain, or and he was influential in helping helping Egypt store up this supply so that they have something when there's this huge famine going on. And so I think he'd be a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah. Okay, somebody not religious, somebody a little more secular. Dead.
For me, it'd probably be historical, like George Washington would be awesome. So some of the founding fathers for me.
So would you do Washington over Lincoln?
I mean, Lincoln's another quick, being able to just spend time with him,
Yeah.
There's some of these others, right? Like Alexander the Great.
Oh. Genghis Khan.
Genghis. I was gonna say Genghis would be he conquered so much of the world.
How'd you do it?
Yeah.
Did you rule by fear? Anybody crossed you? You killed them, or did they just love you? Yeah.
I mean, there'd be a lot of people from history. Alexander the Great. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, I said that right.
Yeah.
Alexander Hamilton.
Ben Franklin, like,
Some of the,
be crazy.
I mean, we mentioned Abraham Lincoln, but some of these leaders that were like on the front lines of the Civil War, even World War II, you know, General Patton.
Yeah. Yeah.